Bravado once again got their ass kicked. Angel Reese was so bad last night, the announcers calling the game, they were laughing at her performance.
Hashtag Angel Reese destroys critics with shocking hidden stats. Full script. The internet is absolutely losing its mind right now, and Angel Reese just delivered the most savage reality check to her haters that nobody saw coming. While everyone was busy making memes and laughing at low-light compilations, something incredible was happening behind the scenes that's about to leave every single critic scrambling for excuses. We're talking about numbers so shocking, so undeniably powerful, that the entire narrative around Angel Reese is about to flip upside down in the most dramatic way possible. Picture this. Announcers literally laughing during games, social media exploding with Angel Reese Part 36 compilation videos, and critics building entire careers off her struggles. But here's what's going to blow your mind completely. While all this chaos was unfolding, Angel Reese was quietly putting together one of the most impressive improvement stories in recent WNBA history, and the numbers we're about to reveal will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about this situation. What I'm about to show you isn't just another feel-good comeback story. This is a deep dive into how narratives get weaponized, how billion-dollar companies make decisions based on data that the public never sees, and how one of the most criticized players in women's basketball has been playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers. The statistical reality we've uncovered is so explosive that it explains why Reebok just made a move that had executives across the sports world doing double takes. But before we completely destroy every misconception about Angel Reese's trajectory, let me take you inside the investigation that revealed what might be the biggest unreported story in women's sports right now. We're going to expose the hidden business intelligence driving major corporate decisions, unpack the social media machine that's been amplifying certain narratives, and reveal the systematic patterns that explain why improvement stories get buried while viral failures dominate headlines. The journey starts with a number that should have been front-page news across every sports platform, but somehow got completely overshadowed by the noise. Angel Reese's field goal percentage jumped from 39.1% in 2024 to 44.4% in 2025. Now, if you're not a basketball analytics person, let me put this in perspective for you. That's a 5.3 percentage point improvement, and in professional basketball terms, that's absolutely massive. We're talking about the kind of statistical leap that usually takes players multiple seasons to achieve, happening in the span of 1 year, while everyone was focused on missed layups and social media drama. Think about what this means for a second. While critics were creating content around her struggles, while low-light reels were going viral, while everyone was questioning her fundamentals, Angel Reese was actually solving the exact problems people were criticizing her for. The improvement is measurable, it's verifiable, and it's significant by any basketball standard you want to apply. Yet somehow, this incredible development got completely buried under highlight reels of missed shots and social media commentary that generates more clicks than statistical analysis. This is where the story gets absolutely fascinating, because when you see improvement this substantial getting ignored, you have to start asking the hard questions about how narratives actually get constructed in sports media. What story are we really being told? And more importantly, why is measurable improvement being systematically overshadowed by viral moments that fit predetermined storylines? The answer becomes crystal clear when you look at what was happening in corporate boardrooms, while everyone was debating Angel Reese's coordination on Twitter. In October 2024, while the internet was still making jokes, Reebok made a move that sent shockwaves through the business world. They didn't just maintain their relationship with Angel Reese. They doubled down with a multi-year contract extension that includes something only one other WNBA player has ever received: a signature shoe release plan for 2026. Let me repeat that because it's crucial. This wasn't damage control or a PR move to support a struggling player. This was Reebok betting millions of dollars on Angel Reese's future, giving her the kind of signature shoe deal that represents the highest level of confidence a company can show in an athlete's long-term marketability. When Reebok CEO Todd Krinsky was asked about this decision, he compared Angel Reese to basketball legends like Shaquille O'Neal and Allen Iverson, saying she embodies the same spirit that made those players
to grow Reebok and have people wear it again, because no one does. So one of his genius decisions was this: fuck fucking signing her, Angel Reese. If you don't know who she is, she's the queen of like fish out of water going after a rebound that she shot herself and can get in the net ever. She reminds me of a 3-year-old shooting on those little kids' nets and throwing the ball.
Icons. But the corporate strategy goes even deeper than most people realize. Reebok brought in Shaquille O'Neal as basketball president, and his entire strategy revolves around positioning Angel Reese as the cornerstone of their basketball resurgence. They're not just maintaining a relationship, they're building their entire comeback plan around her trajectory. Does this sound like a company that's concerned about performance metrics? Or does it sound like a company that has access to data and projections that the public doesn't see? The business intelligence tells a completely different story than what dominates social media conversations. And that disconnect reveals something troubling about how information flows in the sports world. When you have statistical improvements this dramatic being ignored, while viral failure moments get amplified, you're not dealing with organic basketball analysis anymore. You're dealing with an entertainment ecosystem that profits from certain types of narratives regardless of their accuracy. Now, let's talk about the performance context that's been systematically left out of discussions. Yes, Angel Reese struggles with close-range shots, converting only 32.7% within 5 feet, which ranks among the lowest efficiency rates for high-volume paint scorers. Critics love to focus on this number because it supports the coordination narrative that drives engagement. But here's what that analysis consistently ignores. Her overall offensive efficiency has been steadily climbing, suggesting that the technical work she's been putting in is actually translating to measurable results on the court. The improvement from 39.1% to 44.4% isn't just a statistical anomaly or small sample size fluke. It represents fundamental development in her shooting mechanics and court awareness that contradicts every prevailing narrative about her trajectory. When you combine this with her league-leading rebounding and continued production, you're looking at a player whose development curve is pointing up.
2 points, 13 rebounds, but she shot terribly. She got bailed out so many times, throwing up brick layups, getting phantom foul calls from the refs. She did make 10 of 11 free throws, so that is good. 6 of 16 from the floor is not good at all. 0 of 1 from 3. She was a minor.
At exactly the moment when critics are building content around her struggles. But here's where this investigation gets absolutely wild, because there's an entire social media ecosystem built around Angel Reese lowlight compilations that reveals the attention economy driving these narratives. There's literally someone on TikTok who has created 36 parts of Angel Reese miscompilations, and each video gets massive engagement while her improvement stories get buried in the algorithm. When someone can create 36 parts of lowlight content about any player, you have to ask yourself, is this still basketball analysis, or has it become entertainment that profits from struggle? The engagement data tells the whole story. Negative content consistently outperforms improvement stories in terms of views, shares, and comments, creating financial incentives to maintain certain narratives.
Dude on the internet who cracks me up, or on TikTok, he's put together a load of Angel Reese clips, and it'll say Angel Reese part 36, and it goes, Angel Reese going up for another layup, she misses, bang! And I mean, dude, it's the funniest, and my whole thing is this, dude, she just seems as uncoordinated as
regardless of statistical reality. When there's money to be made from mockery, improvement becomes bad for business, and that explains why measurable development gets systematically ignored, while viral failures dominate timelines. This pattern becomes even more disturbing when you realize there's a documented harassment campaign targeting Angel Reese that goes way beyond basketball criticism. Her teammate Ariel Atkins had to make public statements about the immense daily negativity she faces. Specifically mentioning that people need to remember this is a 23-year-old young woman dealing with criticism that has racial undertones and extends far beyond sports analysis. When legitimate basketball discussion gets mixed with harassment that targets someone's identity rather than their performance, it distorts the entire information landscape. The line between sports criticism and systematic targeting becomes blurred, and that context gets left out of discussions about her marketability and development. The market dynamics reveal another layer of complexity that critics consistently miss. When Caitlin Clark got injured, Ticket prices for certain games dropped from $100 to $5, highlighting the current star system in women's basketball. Critics use this as evidence that Angel Reese doesn't have individual drawing power, but they miss the bigger picture completely. Clark-Reese matchups consistently generate over 2.7 million viewers, making them the most watched WNBA games regardless of the narrative angle. Even when the story is critical, these matchups drive massive engagement because viewers are invested in the rivalry storyline. Reebok's long-term bet isn't about Angel Reese matching Caitlin Clark's current market appeal. It's about positioning themselves with a player whose star power is still ascending while her statistics are already improving. The viewership data actually supports her marketability in ways that surface-level analysis completely misses. Angel Reese content drives engagement, whether the narrative is positive or negative, which makes her valuable to broadcasters, sponsors, and social media platforms. The controversy itself becomes a marketable asset, especially when it's built around a player who's actively improving. What we're seeing with Angel Reese is actually part of a systematic pattern in how women's sports...
Washington Mystics just put belt to ass on Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky. Sonia Citron was out there cooking with hot grease. Stir the pot, stir the pot. Keep cooking, Sonia. That was a show. She put on a flat-out show versus Angel Reese in the Chicago Sky.
Athletes get covered when they don't fit traditional marketability formulas. There's a specific template that gets applied. Focus on efficiency metrics over production. Amplify viral negative moments over statistical trends. And ignore improvement trajectories that don't fit predetermined narratives. When you examine coverage patterns across women's sports, this template shows up repeatedly, creating an information ecosystem where struggle gets more attention than development. The formula is almost mathematical at this point. A 5.3 percentage point shooting improvement should be a bigger story than missed layup compilations, but only one of those generates widespread discussion and engagement. When improvement stories consistently get overshadowed by failure narratives, we're not doing sports analysis anymore. We're creating entertainment that may not reflect athletic reality. Based on everything we've uncovered, here's what's about to happen over the next few months. First, expect the statistical improvement trajectory to continue, which means critics who have built their entire analysis around her struggles are going to need completely new talking points. Second, watch for Reebok to lean even harder into their Angel Reese partnership as their basketball comeback strategy develops. The signature shoe launch in 2026 is just the beginning of a long-term brand building campaign that's going to reshape how we think about WNBA marketing. Third, and this is the big one, the gap between viral narrative moments and statistical reality is going to become impossible to ignore as her shooting percentage continues improving. We're heading toward a future where data-driven analysis starts outweighing engagement-driven commentary in women's sports coverage. And Angel Reese is going to be the case study that proves the point. When you connect all these dots, the full picture changes everything about how you evaluate the Angel Reese situation. The 39.1% to 44.4% improvement isn't just a number. It's evidence that the work she's putting in is translating to measurable results, combined with league-leading rebounding and continued production. It suggests development that critics are systematically undervaluing, while major corporations are betting millions on her trajectory. Reebok's contract extension with signature shoe development isn't the move of a company concerned about performance. It's the strategy of a brand that sees potential in both her current influence and her improvement curve. The harassment campaign context explains why negative narratives get amplified beyond what basketball analysis would justify, while the social media ecosystem reveals the attention incentives for maintaining those narratives regardless of statistical reality. Here's what this entire investigation reveals. While mainstream discussion has focused on Angel Reese's struggles, she's been quietly improving statistically in ways that support major brand investments and completely challenge prevailing narratives. The pattern extends beyond Angel Reese to how women's sports athletes get covered more broadly. And when improvement stories get overshadowed by viral failure moments, we're not analyzing sports. We're creating entertainment that doesn't reflect athletic reality. Critics who have built their analysis around her struggles are about to be left completely speechless as her improvements become undeniable And the statistical reality we've uncovered today is just the beginning of a story that's going to reshape how we think about talent evaluation, media narratives, and the business of women's sports.